Hey everyone, Cap from TCG Break here, bringing you my Altergeist Dogmatika deck profile for the November 2021 format. This is an excellent rogue deck in our current meta and offers great recurability in the grind game and has the capability to lock down the board through the use of its many trap card effects. So with that being said, without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with the main monster lineup, I'm playing 3 Altergeist Multi-Faker. Multi-Faker has the effect when a trap card is activated, where you can special summon it from your hand, and if it is special summoned, you are then able to special summon one Altergeist monster from your deck in defense position. This effect locks you into only being able to special summon Altergeist monsters the turn you activate it. This is one of your best cards in the deck, and can net you quite a lot of advantage overall, whilst also giving you the ability to use your Altergeist traps such as the Altergeist Protocol or personal spoofing, in an attempt to further your plays on the following turns. Continuing with the Altergeist monsters, I'm playing 3 copies of Altergeist Meluseek. Meluseek is able to attack your opponent directly, and when it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you're able to target one card your opponent controls and send it to the graveyard. Additionally, if Meluseek is sent from the field to the graveyard, you are able to add one Altergeist monster from your deck to your hand. Just as with Multi-Faker, you are able to use Meluseek in tandem with your Altergeist trap cards in order to net further advantage in the grind game. I'm playing 3 copies of Altergeist Marionetter. This is your best normal summon in the deck, as it has the effect when it is normal summoned, where you can set one Altergeist trap directly from your deck. Marionetter also has the effect where you can target an Altergeist you control and one Altergeist in your graveyard, and you send that card on the field to the grave and special summon the one in the grave to your field. This is a great effect to use with the Altergeist Multi-Faker in the grave, as you can later take advantage of Multi-Faker's effect to special summon an Altergeist from your deck and possibly link into the Altergeist Hextia. And to round it out for the Altergeist monsters, I'm playing 2 Altergeist Silquidus and the 1 Altergeist Conquery. Silquidus is an excellent target to special summon off of your Multi-Faker, as it has the quick effect where you can return one Altergeist card you control to the hand, and then target one card your opponent controls and return that targeted card to the hand. Silquidus also has the useful effect if it's sent from the field to the grave, you are able to recur back one of your Altergeist traps from the grave into your hand. And lastly, Conquery has the effect, if your opponent's monster declares an attack and you control an Altergeist card, you are able to special summon Conquery from your hand and negate that attack. Additionally, if Conquery is special summoned, you can target a face-up card your opponent controls and negate its effects while Conquery is on the field. This is an excellent utility card if you happen to be low on life points or need to negate one of your opponent's problematic monsters. As for the Dogmatika package, I'm playing 1 Dogmatika Ecclesia, the Virtuous, and 1 Dogmatika Fleur-de-Lis, the Knighted. I believe this ratio is all that you need within this deck, as you are able to search either fairly easily via the effect of Nadir's Servant. Ecclesia has the effect if a monster special summoned from the extra deck is on the field, you can special summon it from your hand, and if Ecclesia is normal or special summoned, you are able to add 1 Dogmatika card from your deck to your hand. This also locks you out from being able to special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of that turn. You are not too worried about that downside, as most of the time on your first turn, you are looking to get your Altergeist engine started, and most likely will not start with any link plays in the extra deck. Fleur-de-Lis has the very useful quick effect that if a special summon monster from the extra deck is on the field during the main phase, you can special summon it from your hand, and if you control another Dogmatika monster, you can negate the effects of one monster on the field until the end of that turn. Fleur-de-Lis is also able to permanently boost the attack of all Dogmatika monsters you control by 500 simply when one of your Dogmatika monsters declares an attack. This proves rather useful when attempting to beat over an opponent's problematic monster, such as the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. That's it for the monster lineup. Now moving on to the spells, I'm playing 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance. This deck is not heavily reliant on the extra deck, so you are not worried banishing 3 or 6 cards from your extra deck, as the overall card advantage of going +1 greatly outweighs the prospective downside of not being able to use one of your monsters in the extra deck. It is important to note that after Pot of Extravagance resolves, you are not able to draw any cards by card effects. Additionally, I'm playing 2 copies of Pot of Duality. I believe this ratio of 5 draw cards overall works well within this deck, as you are most likely to see 1 within your starting hand. Duality has the effect where you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 of them to your hand, and the rest are shuffled back into your deck. The only downside to this card is that you are unable to special summon the turn you activate it, though you are not terribly concerned about that effect, as most of the time you want to set up a board of numerous trap cards and should not have to special summon on your first turn, only those thereafter. I'm also playing 3 copies of Nadir's Servant. This allows you to send 1 monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, and then add 1 Dogmatika monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand that has an attack less than or equal to that of the monster sent to the grave. Nadir's Servant also locks you out of being able to special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn after it resolves. Most of the time going first, you will send your Titaniclad to later use Titaniclad's effect in the end phase, adding a card such as Fleur-de-Lis to your hand, and going second you might send a card such as Entis in order to disrupt your opponent's plays. Moving on to the trap lineup, I'm playing 3 copies of Personal Spoofing. Spoofing simply has the effect where once per turn you can shuffle 1 Altergeist card from your hand or face-up field into the deck, and add 1 Altergeist from your deck to your hand. This simply helps to ensure that you have a card such as Multi-Faker on the following turns in order to benefit off of the advantage it generates. Additionally, I'm playing 2 copies of Altergeist Protocol and 1 Altergeist Manifestation. Protocol is a very useful card to have face up on your field, as it has the effect that the activation and effects of Altergeist cards activated on the field are not able to be negated. Also, Protocol is able to negate one of your opponent's monster effects simply by sending 1 Altergeist card you control to the grave. Manifestation is your in-archetype monster reborn for your Altergeist monsters, and it allows you to recur one of your Altergeist traps from your grave simply by banishing it from your graveyard. I'm also playing 2 copies of Dogmatika Punishment. This is a very useful card in order to ensure you are able to keep up in the grind game, as you are able to target 1 monster your opponent controls and send a monster from your extra deck to the graveyard with an attack that is equal to or higher than the attack of the targeted monster, and if you do, you destroy that monster. You could send a card such as Titaniclad in order to get into your Dogmatika engine via its effect in the end phase, or simply send a card such as Entis to further disrupt your opponent's plays. Effectively, the only hand trap I am playing in this deck is 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. This is excellent going second, especially if you have a Multi-Faker in hand, as you can activate the Infinite Impermanence from your hand if you control no other cards, to negate one of your opponent's problematic monsters, such as an Apollousa. Then you could special summon the Multi-Faker from your hand in order to benefit off of its effect on summon. I'm also playing 3 copies of Solemn Strike. This is simply a very useful counter trap to play in our current meta, as many decks are very reliant on special summons, such as that of Drytron and Tri-Brigade, and this enables you to play around your opponent's problematic monsters, such as a Baronet de Fleur, the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, or the Destiny Hero Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. I'm playing 3 copies of Torrential Tribute, as it is an excellent card against most of the meta, and is able to severely hinder your opponent's plays before they are able to set up a board of multiple negates, as Torrential has the effect when a monster is summoned, all monsters on the field are destroyed. And to round it out for the main deck, I'm playing the 1 copy of Imperial Order. This is once again another great card in our current meta, as it stops the Drytron matchup fairly easily, and does not conflict with this deck's overall strategy, since it is mostly reliant on its trap card effects. Moving on to the extra deck, I'm playing 2 copies of Link Karibo and the 1 Relinquished Anima. This deck again is not very reliant on the extra deck, but these cards may become useful in order to get certain Altergeist monsters into the graveyard to benefit off of their effects, or special summon them back off of the Altergeist manifestation in order to further your plays, or possibly go for an OTK. I am of course playing 3 copies of Altergeist Hextia. Hextia gains attack equal to the original attack of all Altergeist monsters it points to, and is able to quick effect negate the activation of a spell or trap card simply by tributing 1 Altergeist monster it points to. Hextia also allows you to dig deeper into your deck, as if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Altergeist card from your deck to the hand. This further ensures that you are able to play on the following turns, and is one of your most used monsters in the extra deck. As for the Link 2s, I'm playing the 1 Nightmare Phoenix and the 1 Lina, the Light Charmer Lustrious. Phoenix is an excellent way to disrupt your opponent's back row, as if it's Link summoned, you can discard 1 card and target a spell or trap your opponent controls and destroy it. And you may be able to benefit off of Phoenix's Draw 1 effect if, for example, it is co-linked with an Altergeist Hextia. Lina is also a fairly useful card in this deck, as it can sometimes help you go for the OTK, using its effect to target 1 light monster in your opponent's graveyard and special summon it to a zone it points to. Additionally, if Lina is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you are able to add a light monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. This would allow you to add a card such as Ecclesia to your hand in order to further control the game on the following turns. As for the remaining Link monsters, I'm playing 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Selene, Queen of the Master Magicians, 1 Ningirsu, the World Chalice Warrior, and the 1 Access Code Talker. Unicorn is an excellent utility card, as it allows you to spin back one of your opponent's cards to the deck when it is Link summoned, simply by discarding 1 card. Selene is excellent when you're going for the OTK, as it gains spell counters equal to the number of spells on the field and in the graveyards, so if it has 3 or more spell counters, you can quick effect remove 3 spell counters from your field, and special summon a spellcaster monster from your hand or graveyard to a zone Selene points to. All of your Altergeist monsters are spellcasters, as well as your Ecclesia and Fleur-de-Lis, so using Selene and that special summoned monster, you are able to fairly easily link off into the Access Code Talker. Ningirsu is of course your way to out problematic cards, such as the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, as it has the once per turn effect, where you can non-targeting send 1 card from each player's field to the graveyard. And lastly, Access Code Talker serves as your way to OTK your opponent, and is fairly easy to bring out using a card such as Selene and the monster special summon by Selene's effect, or a Ningirsu and 1 other Altergeist monster you may control, so that Access Code Talker's attack would increase to 5300, which is able to get over most monsters in the game. And to round it out for the extra deck, I'm playing 2 copies of Elder Entity Entis and the 1 Titaniclad the Ash Dragon. Both of these are excellent targets to send off of your Nadir Servant, as when Entis is sent to the grave, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. And of course Titaniclad allows you to get into your Dogmatika engine, using its effect in the end phase to either add to your hand or special summon 1 Dogmatika monster from your deck. Moving on to the side deck, I'm playing 3 copies of Lava Golem. This is excellent against quite a few decks in the current meta, such as Dragon Link, Drytron, as well as Sword Soul, and I'm playing Lava Golem over a card such as Sphere Mode, as I found that most of the time, especially in the Sword Soul matchup, they would only end on 2 monsters at most. Lava Golem of course has the effect where you can special summon it to your opponent's field by tributing 2 monsters they control, and has the once per turn effect during the standby phase where it deals 1000 damage. I'm playing 2 copies of Secret Village of the Spellcasters, 1 Mystic Mine, and 1 copy of Terraforming. Since pretty much all of your deck is made up of spellcaster monsters, Secret Village naturally integrates very well with the overall strategy, and it has the effect, if only you control a spellcaster monster, your opponent is unable to activate spell cards. This can lock a deck such as Drytron out from essentially being able to play the game, since they are so heavily reliant on spell cards. I'm playing the one copy of Mystic Mine, as most of the time you will not control many monsters on your field, and acts as a great way to stall out the game until you are able to get into your Altergeist or Dogmatika monsters. And since many decks are very heavily reliant on using monster effects, Mystic Mine is an excellent addition to this deck overall. Lastly, I'm of course playing the one Terraforming in order to act as another copy of either of your field spells whenever you may need them. As for back row removal, I'm playing 2 copies of Lightning Storm. This is a great card to side into on games 2 and 3 if you think your opponent is going to play first, and is a great utility card as it has the flexibility to either destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls, or destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. Additional back row disruption, I'm playing 3 copies of Evenly Matched. Just as with Infinite Impermanence, this is an excellent card when used in conjunction with your Altergeist Multifaker in order to benefit off of its effect on summon, and Evenly simply allows you to level the playing field in an attempt to break through your opponent's board and control the game with your many trap cards in the turns thereafter. And to round it out for the side deck, I'm playing 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. I believe this is best suited in the side deck, as its versatility is very useful going first, but going second it is really not the most powerful card, and you typically do not want to see it in your hand. So this has been my Altergeist Dogmatika deck profile for the November 2021 format. As always, if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more like it, feel free to give us a like and subscribe. Feel free to leave any suggestions regarding changes you would make to the deck in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, until the next one, have a nice day.